would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Here.
Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Here.
Okay, item 4 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Please note we are omitting item 7C, the strategic planning quarterly update. That presentation will be at the next council meeting. Is there a motion to approve the agenda minus 7C?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those, good. Motion carried. The consent agenda is long. I'm going to remove two pieces of good news to be. Another closed session. Oh, because we did it. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, good point. So do we have to do that over again? All right.
No, I don't see a closed
The
session.
closed session, we already took care of it
Yeah,
before we came out here.
it's on there? Okay. Are we set? We are set, okay.
Oh, we're good? Okay.
So consent agenda, regular council meeting minutes for July 17th, special council meeting minutes for the same date, public safety activity summary reports for April and May, request to approve payment of invoices from MDOT for the 9 Mile Road and 8 Mile Road at Hubble projects for the total amount of $325,983.59. E, request to approve payment of invoices from OHM Advisors for GIS and DWAM grant, 9 Mile Road, 9 Mile Road landscaping and Fern Street survey for the total amount of $110,038.67. F, request to advertise for bids for the proposed sign and median landscape project. Please remove G for further discussion. It's good news. We don't want to bury our good news. H, request to approve payment application number 4 for the 2023 water main and road replacement project M750 to Intercity Contracting of Detroit, Michigan in the amount of $284,775.76. I, request to declare the listed equipment surplus and sold by sealed bid, public auction, or disposal at the lowest expense to the city in accordance with city policy. J, please remove for further discussion. K, zoning board of appeals meeting minutes for June 27th. Licenses, new and renewals submitted for August 7th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. City manager, would you please talk about the improvements that are G, item 5G, request to approve payment application number 1 for the 9 Mile Connector Park. And before you do that, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second? Thank you. Okay. City manager?
Madam Mayor, I'm actually going to ask Dave DeCoster to join me at the podium. He'll have much more detail, but I think it's important to note that we have in fact started the project, which I'm very excited about. But Dave, could you give us some more detail?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager Tungate.
Are you on?
Yes, can you hear me?
Holler louder.
Okay. Good evening. Yes, this project has started. As you know, this project is a connector park that connects the neighborhood out to the 9 Mile linear park. This particular item is the first payment for the project. It has been started, and the contractor is working diligently to get it done. There were some early delays in getting some of the playground materials. Obviously, with all things now, there's much delay. So this park, I think Benny has some illustrations to place up there, but features playgrounds that connect, like I said, the neighborhood to the linear park. That includes a tumble panel, a spin racer panel, bouncing metal swing, an accessible spinner, and the big feature is the zip line. So
What is that we're looking at?
that's the zip line there, so the kids will be able to go on to, like, I believe it's a small disc, and they'll go back and they can slide back.
They can fly through.
Right now.
Correct.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Fun.
What you see there is the blue and the green is a poured-in-place accessible surface. So it's all accessible. Those are some of the panels. We're putting some shade sails in there, some benches, some of the lollipops that we have along the linear park. But these are some illustrations for what we expect it to look like.
And shade for the benches?
Always. Yes, there is, as you can see, there are some shade sails out there.
My personal favorite. Yes, thank you. That's wonderful news. Thank you for sharing. Look at that. What is the round thing?
That is just another piece of pure, the poured in place surface that's an accessible, what's the name of it? Wheelchair accessible merry-go-round.
Lovely. That is good news. Another park on 9 Mile. Thank you. Any questions from council? Let me see. Vote to approve payment application for this connector park.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item J, retirement board meeting minutes, had some good news in it too, that City Manager Tungate was going to, let's first get a motion and a second to approve the minutes for April 24th and 30th.
So moved.
Second.
Second, City Manager Tungate.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. There's always such great news when we have our retirement board meetings, but there was some exceptionally great news. So, as some of our residents may or may not know, we have two retirement systems here. We have our general retirement system and our public safety retirement system. Some time ago, the state announced a grant program to assist those retirement systems who were less than 60% funded in getting to the 60% mark and then ultimately getting to fully funded status. And the city of Oak Park applied for about 1.8 million in grant money to be received into our employee retirement system, which of the two systems we have was the only one eligible at the time. We received the full 1.8 million, and I'm very, very excited about that. And so what does that mean for the city's general fund? It means that every year, if our numbers hold steady, the city's general fund contribution into the employee retirement system will be reduced by quite a bit. And we'll still continue on our 19-year or 18-year amortization schedule. So while that all seems finance nerdy stuff, that's the kind of stuff that saves our taxpayers money. And, that's money in the general fund now that we can free up to go and use towards other things. So I am very excited about it, and I'm very grateful to the state of Michigan for assisting us in this project.
Thank you so much. Stay, thank you. And then we vote on accepting the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Do we have any elected officials out there? No. Moving on. We have a special recognition presentation. We'd like to call Director Cooper up for Public Safety Unit Citation Presentation.
All righty. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager Tungate. I want to thank the City Council for allowing me an opportunity and a forum to acknowledge some outstanding work being performed by our public safety officers. This evening, I have the honor of presenting a unit citation to the following. It will be Lieutenant Joseph Meyer, Officer David Cardinelli, Officer Anthony Kerrigan, Detective Jeffrey Mata, Officer Timothy Gore, Officer Patrick Laskaska, Officer Christopher Sukol, and Officer John Dean. And this incident involves the heroic life-saving efforts by our officers after a motorist crashed into a pole and became trapped inside her vehicle. The driver was in severe medical distress, and it took an entire team effort to help save the life of the victim. And I am extremely proud and happy to be in front of council and standing before you all, like I said, to present the unit citation. So many challenges that we face in the profession, not only law enforcement, but like I said, we do the 3 jobs. We do the fire, and we also have the honor and distinction of being medical first responders. And with so many challenges and so many, sometimes you want to, unfortunately, there's a lot of negative stories surrounding the profession. And when you have an opportunity to highlight some of the outstanding work that's being done, you definitely don't want to miss that opportunity. The men and women that you see standing at the rear of council here represent the absolute best in this profession, and that's bar none. I could not be prouder to stand here leading the men and women that you see standing at the rear council chambers, and they come and they bring it every day, and they leave nothing in the tank, and it's appreciated. And again, I appreciate this council for allowing us the opportunity during council session here to actually acknowledge that. As I call the officers' names, I would ask that you come forward, stand front and center, and face the audience, please. Start with Lieutenant Joseph Meyer. Lieutenant Meyer is a 23-year veteran of the department. He's currently the administrative lieutenant / fire marshal. He's a highly decorated commander, has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Lieutenant Meyer is an evidence technician and currently in charge of the Evidence Tech program. He's a less lethal instructor in charge of the less lethal program. He served as a field training officer. He was a member of the department's special response team for several years. He served as a detective in our investigation bureau. He also oversees our K-9 program. With his vast level of experience, we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Officer Dave Cardinelli to come forward, please. Officer Cardinelli is a 19-year veteran of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his distinguished career. He's currently assigned to the Day Shift Patrol Division. Officer Cardinelli has served as a detective on our Investigations Bureau for several years. Currently serves as an evidence technician and does an outstanding job. He's a field training officer, and he's also the vice president of the Oak Park Police Officers Association. We're extremely proud and fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Officer Anthony Kerrigan to come and stand front and center, please. Officer Anthony Kerrigan is a 17-year member of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his distinguished career. Officer Kerrigan is currently assigned to the Midnight Shift Patrol Division. He has served as a detective in the Investigations Bureau for several years. He's a defensive tactics instructor, a firearms instructor, a field training officer, and a former member of the department's special response team. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Detective Jeffrey Mata to come and stand front and center. Detective Mata is a 9-year veteran of this department, currently promoted to the Investigations Bureau. Detective Mata is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous citations and awards throughout his distinguished career. He's one of our firearms instructors. He's also a field training officer. Detective Mata also is one of our less lethal instructors, and we're extremely proud and extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Officer Patrick Laskaska, you would come and stand front and center. Okay. Unfortunately, Officer Laskaska is on the road handling many responsibilities that we have, but Officer Laskaska is a 6-year veteran of this department. He's currently assigned to the Midnight Shift Patrol Division. He's a highly decorated officer as well, who has received numerous awards and citations. Officer Laskaska currently serves as one of the department's firearms instructors. We're extremely lucky to have him as a member of our team. Officer Timothy Gore. Officer Gore is also a 6-year veteran of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous citations and awards throughout his career. Officer Gore is currently assigned to the Day Shift Patrol Division. He's a field training officer. Prior to becoming a public safety officer, Officer Gore played professional soccer overseas. Officer Gore is always smiling. He has a great personality. We love having him, and we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this team. Officer Christopher Sukol. You come and stand. Officer Sukol is a 2-year veteran of this department. He's currently assigned to the midnight shift. Officer Sukol is also on his way to becoming a highly decorated officer. Officer Sukol is extremely dedicated, hardworking. We're extremely fortunate to have him as an officer and a member of this department. And last but not least, Officer John Dean. Just recently, Officer Dean finished his first year with our department, but he is no rookie. Officer Dean has spent time as a Detroit police officer and also as an Oakland County deputy. He was highly decorated and received many awards at both of those agencies. He's currently assigned to our day shift patrol division. From the day that he first joined the department, Officer Dean has actively recruited several officers to join the Oak Park Public Safety Department. Officer Dean is extremely smart, dedicated, hardworking, and we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. And I am extremely happy that he is one of our top recruiters. So, thank you so much. At this time, I'll read verbatim from the unit citation. And it reads as follows. It says, on Thursday, February 2nd, 2023, at approximately 9:15 p.m., Oak Park officers were dispatched to Coolidge and Oak Park Boulevard on the report of an injury accident involving a motor vehicle that had crashed into a pole. The first officers arrived on scene within a few minutes to find a single female occupant in medical distress. Officers had to force entry into the vehicle to gain access to the victim. The driver was initially incoherent, but eventually became combative due to severe compound fracture of her leg, specifically the femur area. Officer Sukol broke the front passenger side window, and Officer Dean gained access to the victim. Officer Dean immediately began medical assessment of the victim while attempting to stabilize and keep her from touching her leg. Officers Cardinelli, Kerrigan, Mata, Gore, Laskaska, and Sukol worked together performing first aid and extrication efforts. The victim's leg was bleeding profusely due to the nature of this injury. Lieutenant Joseph Meyer quickly supplied and assisted officers in applying a tourniquet that allowed the victim's bleeding to be controlled. Officers successfully extricated the victim from the vehicle within 15 minutes, at which time advanced care was turned over to Alliance Ambulance. The victim was transported to Beaumont Hospital for further medical treatment. The experience, quick actions, professionalism, and immediate care rendered by all the officers on the scene was critical in the on-scene improved condition and the saving of the victim's life. I would like to recognize these officers for their actions and professionalism under extraordinary circumstances. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties during this incident, and is signed by myself, the Director of Public Safety, Steve Cooper. Congratulations, man.
Can we just stand?
I think we gotta be back here.
Need to get the word out. We need PR.
Thank you.
You know it. Can't you Photoshop it? Yeah. Shake it.
Gotta get a little taller. Get a smile. Hold it. Hold it. Okay, one more. Here we go. Good smile.
I got it for so long.
Don't pass out.
I got a few words I'll say after this. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were.
We hear about the bad, but we don't hear about the good that's being done every day with this department. Need to meet more for some more attaboys. And girls. Wow. Chief Cooper will talk to us about the retirement recognition. Say it again?
It's gonna be me, actually.
It's going to be you. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to just read from the special recognition. So again, as a reminder, for employees of ours who are going to retire, we do a special recognition for each of them. David Taylor, the Mayor, Council, and Administration of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, in testament and tribute to his distinguished public service and lasting contributions to the City of Oak Park and its residents, wish to express their sincere appreciation to David Taylor. You have served as a pillar of integrity in this organization and have helped to set the city's high standard of excellence. You have served as a source of guidance, support, and leadership for your colleagues, and it is those qualities that will leave a lasting imprint on the City of Oak Park. Your dedicated spirit, wealth of knowledge, and overall dedication to the City of Oak Park will be sorely missed. And it's signed today by Marion McClellan, Mayor, Eric Tungate, City Manager, and David Taylor. His years of service in our Public Safety Department, 2005 through 2023. Director Cooper, would you like me to go to the next one, or would you?
It's your pleasure, boss, however you want to
Let
do it.
me also just say then, real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, for Rachel Janopoulos. And Rachel has served in our Public Safety Department from 1998 until present. And again, the mayor, Rachel, the mayor, council, and administration of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, in testament and tribute to her distinguished public service and lasting contributions to the City of Oak Park and its residents, wish to express their sincere appreciation to Rachel Janopoulos. You have served as a pillar of integrity in this organization and have helped us to set the city's high standard of excellence. You have served as a source of guidance, support, and leadership for your colleagues, and it is those qualities that will leave a lasting imprint on the City of Oak Park. Your dedicated spirit, wealth of knowledge, and overall dedication to the City of Oak Park will be sorely missed. Signed by Marion McClellan, Mayor, and Eric Tungate, City Manager. Rachel and David, thank you both for your service. And with that, I will turn it over to Director Cooper.
Thank you, boss. Like I said, on behalf of Officer David Taylor and Officer Rachel Janopoulos, I'll be accepting their awards. Unfortunately, Officer Taylor is out of town and unable to attend. His last day of service was July 27th, but I'd like to say a few words regarding his service with the City of Oak Park. He served honorably as a member of the Public Safety Department for 18 years. Prior to becoming an officer with Oak Park, he served for several years with the Detroit Police Department. He was a highly decorated officer, receiving many citations and awards during his distinguished career. Officer Taylor served several years as a detective in our investigations bureau. He was an outstanding detective who was extremely tenacious and relentless when investigating all types of crimes. Officer Taylor served as an evidence technician and also a field training officer. And I wanted to personally thank Officer Taylor for the many years of loyal and dedicated service to the City of Oak Park and the public safety profession. He was a true class act and will be dearly missed. I wish him well and the best during his retirement. And like I said, I will make sure that he gets that at a later time. Officer Rachel Janopoulos. Officer Janopoulos wanted to be here and tried, but apparently she had some family commitments that would prevented her from being here. But I would like to say some remarks regarding her career and service to the City of Oak Park as well. Officer Janopoulos served honorably as a member of the Public Safety Department for 25 years. She's a highly decorated officer, received many citations and awards during her distinguished career. Officer Janopoulos served several years as a detective in our investigations bureau, where she excelled in investigating some of the most difficult crimes imaginable. She also served as a field training officer, teaching and mentoring several new officers. Officer Janopoulos was a member of the department's crisis negotiation team. And after 25 years of service with the department, she will be retiring on August 20th to begin the next chapter in her life. I'd like to thank Officer Janopoulos. She will be truly missed as well. I'd like to thank her for her hard work and her loyal service and dedication to the City of Oak Park and the public safety profession. And I wish her all the best. And again, like I said, before I take my seat again, I don't take any of this for granted. Like I said, I know council's time is precious, and for you to, like I said, allow my team to come in and receive awards in front of this council and acknowledge the retirements and the many years of services that they had is truly dear to my heart, and it means a lot. So I want to thank you for always extending that courtesy and always making us feel that we're the best of the best. So thank you for all that you do as well.
Thank you.
Communications. That puts us on item 10, special licenses. 10A, a city event. Everyone's invited. Special request for a special event license and waiver of application fee submitted by the City of Oak Park Corridor Improvement Authority for a Lions Game opening day event to be held September 7th, 2023 in the Water Tower Social District with support from local businesses. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Discussion. Would that be, yes, come on down and tell us all about it.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council members. The Corridor Improvement Authority in the Water Tower Social District is hosting an event to kick off the Lions season with a tailgate. We're going to have an LED screen in the parking lot that evening. The game begins at 8:30 p.m., but the event will begin at 6 p.m. We have a few of our businesses participating. TRV Fit on 11 Mile Road is going to be doing a pregame workout with whoever wants to attend at 6 o'clock. Our two breweries are brewing a special beer that we're going to be calling Elevate Oak Park to help promote our Elevate campaign for recreation.
Nice.
And we're also going to be asking city council members and some of our directors if they want to participate by being celebrity servers that evening as well. So if
Absolute.
you're interested in participating, let me know. And the proceeds from the tips will also go towards our Parks and Recreation Department to do our improvements that we have proposed. The breweries are also donating a portion of that beer sold that night towards Parks and Recreation as well.
Nice.
We'll have special tailgate food served at Oak Park Social, and of course, you can always grab a beer or a drink at any of the establishments in the social district and enjoy them in front of the game.
Fantastic. Everybody mark down September 7th at 6 p.m. Be there or be square.
How many celebrities had to have said no before they decided to call us celebrities?
No, we didn't ask any. We're considering you as the celebrities.
Oh,
You're
man.
the celebrities of Oak
They are
Park.
scraping the bottom of the barrel. Yeah. That's great. That's great news, fun in Oak Park. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. B, another one. They were not too busy to get even another event going. Request for special event license, waiver of application fee, special beer and wine license submitted to the city by the City of Oak Park Corridor Improvement Authority for Oktoberfest to be held September 23rd, 2023 in the Water Tower Social District. First, a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second, thank you. Please tell us about this wonderful event. When does it start and when do we get there?
Yes, so that is going to be held in the Water Tower Social District as well on, September 23rd. And it will begin at 2 p.m. We have a German band that
2
will be
p.m.?
playing. Yep, 2 p.m. And then in the evening, we'll have a DJ. Under the tent that we'll have on site, we'll be serving beer from our local breweries and wine as well. And we're working with some of our restaurants in the area to see if they want to serve under the tent their foods and hopefully get some German fare under there as well. If we can't get our local restaurants to do it, we'll look for food trucks, but we want to work with our local businesses first.
Nice.
And this is our first event of an Oktoberfest. We tried to do one last year, but it was too late to pull it off. So this will be our first one, hopefully an annual event.
The October Halloween event, Trunk and Treat
Yep,
Trunk and
Trunk or
Treat
Treat,
was
yep.
incredible. If everything that's fabulous happening is happening in Oak Park. Southfield has some good things too, though. We have some visitors. Let's see. So, any questions? Nope. All those in favor of approving this license, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Another great event, 2 o'clock, September 23rd, and 6 o'clock, September 7th. Mark it down. C, request for a special event license submitted by Dog and Pony Show Brewing, 14661 West 11 Mile, Suite 200 for Detroit City Football Club fundraising event to be held August 10th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Second. This, because it is by a for-profit organization, they paid the $100 fee. Any questions or discussion? I think this is fundraising to help train kids. So it's kind of for a good cause. And this is August 10th, coming right up.
But even though they call it football, they really mean soccer.
Ah, do they really?
That's what it says.
Yeah, okay.
Celebration of soccer in Detroit.
Ah.
Trick us.
Okay, our guy that, on the police force, we got to get him going to that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Bids. This is a request to award the regular bid for the 2023 miscellaneous concrete contract M754 to Mattioli Cement Company Limited for a total amount of $949,943.50. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And then would Dave DeCoster please come up? Oh, Kim Maroney, sorry. Oh, Dave, you've changed. Yes, okay. Please tell us about this, and residents want to know how our area is chosen for this.
Yes.
That
so
my
great
road is
question.
really bad, but they haven't fixed it in a couple of years. Can you explain?
Yes. And I would note also that we are adding more money to the contract this year because we have a little extra work. As opposed to $500,000 we award every year, we're doing $1 million this year.
Good.
And the way we estimate which projects will take place for miscellaneous concrete, we first take a look at the roads that have the most asphalt patch on them. So those are roads that have been patched over and over and over again. We make note of that. We also like to spread the repairs through the entire city and not just focus on one portion of the city. That way it gets divided equally among our residents. We also use PASER ratings and other structural observations.
What's the name of the rating again?
PASER.
Pacer.
And one of the structural observations we look at is like faults, dips, and shattered slabs. And then we also take a look at the traffic on the roadway. Ones that are more heavily traveled will get a little bit higher priority, like Lincoln and Coolidge and those roads. And then the last thing we do is look at areas that have been causing vehicle damage and make them a priority as well.
Which one's priority?
The ones that cause vehicle damage. So, you know, you
vehicle
hit those really big potholes and you bend a rim. So we look at a lot of different aspects before we create the actual list.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Question. Mayor Pro Tem Julie Edgar.
Thanks, Director Maroney. So on the map for the miscellaneous concrete replacement project, it doesn't show where these spots are. Is there some reason for that? Have we not chosen the areas yet?
We haven't finalized the list yet. We'd like to put that list together and of course go over it with City Manager Tungate before it's finalized.
And when
This
will
is
that
just
be?
awarding the actual work.
Okay. So when will they start? Just,
We usually don't start until the fall, I believe, right? Yeah. Probably October-ish, I'm thinking.
Nice. Okay.
and is the money for this, does it come from the street?
Yes. Yep, it's budgeted in the miscellaneous, major and local street funds and the water and sewer funds.
All right. I am delighted to hear that we've doubled the contribution to this cause because we want to fix the damn roads. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you. Great news. Great news that more money has gone into that. Ordinances. This is second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Chapter 22, Article 5, Food Service Establishments of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, by amending Sections 22, 126, 127, 128, and 129 thereof. The ordinance amends regulations for mobile food vending, food trucks. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Discussion or questions?
So are we, this ordinance, is it, I'm assuming this is new because food trucks are relatively new.
Right.
Is it the same ordinance in other cities? Yes. So
So,
it's just a standard.
So
Vending.
Ebony Dupp is our city attorney, and she will answer that.
Yes, it is. This is our second reading. It is a similar ordinance modeled after other cities. Quite frankly, we had one in place, but we did not have a mechanism for the process for licensure. So this sets forth that process, setting the locations where the food trucks are permitted to locate, their hours of operation, and also requires that they receive licensure from the local health department.
Nice.
Is that an annual license?
It is.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
motion carried unanimously. Item 13B, first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82, Article 3, Division 3, presently called Downspout Board of Appeals of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, by amending Sections 82-161 through 82-169 thereof. The ordinance amendment provides an appeal process for any resident disagreeing with the interpretation or application of the rates and charges for stormwater. It also renames the board, the Stormwater Board of Appeals instead of the Downspout Board of Appeals. Is there a motion to approve the first reading?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Do we have someone who can speak to that?
Yes.
Yes, our city attorney, Ebony Duff. Thank you.
Yes, so this is the first reading of our ordinance to change what was historically known as the downspout downspout board of appeals. In my understanding, we historically have never actually activated that board, to the stormwater board of appeals. As council knows, we recently adopted changes to how we calculate the stormwater runoff in accordance with a very strict formula that was determined by an engineering firm, actually. So this Board of Appeals process now gives any property owner who does not agree with the amount of their stormwater charges an opportunity to appeal to a board. It sets forth the composition of the board, which will include treasury, city manager, our water billing supervisor, and the city engineer as a staff liaison, because those are the individuals, again, who have the most information with regard to the calculations. And then it also gives a technical process for going out and reviewing the charges that are applied to any particular parcel, and sets forth, again, in the ordinance, the process for that appeal. So-
Just a question. First, we have a motion and a second?
We do.
We do. Then a question would be, should there be a lawyer on the board?
No,
Okay.
no lawyer on the board, but you will have a lawyer present at any appeals meeting when it's scheduled.
Got it. Thank you. And then, does it say somewhere it meets as needed?
It does, and it's met at the request of the property owner, and I believe it is 30 days from the date of application.
Got it. Thank you. Any questions about this new board? If you have issues about that charge on your water bill, you now have somewhere to take it, which is wonderful. Let me see, do we have a roll call, please?
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Motion carried. We are to the city manager section, either at the beginning or the end. He is going to talk about the dog park and about Sean and the baby fawn story.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm actually going to do that at the end. I'd like to request Director Kimberly Maroney to join me at the podium for 15A, please.
Good evening. Attaches payment application number 3 and change order number 3 for the 2023 Water Main and Road Replacement Project, M750 by Intercity Contracting LLC of Detroit. The project replaced water mains in the areas shown on the attached map, which include Cloverdale, Northfield, and Leslie. And the project is approximately 85% complete. The change order tonight is in the amount of $5,000. We had to shift the traffic to access the Shepherd parking lot. When it was originally bid out, we did not think, the city engineer thought there were an exit and an entrance that we could have shifted the traffic to, and that was not the case. And then we also, we actually had to do some water main work on Sherman too, additional, that we didn't anticipate.
Say it again.
We needed to do additional water main work on Sherman that we did not anticipate, and then we needed it for additional traffic controls.
Thank you. Let's see, first the motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Then questions. These two areas, Cloverdale and Northfield, how many miles of water main or road replacement do we get for almost $1 million?
Dave may be better equipped for that, not a lot.
Not a mile, though.
No.
No, like a
No.
block or two
Yeah.
for $1 million. The cost of repairing the infrastructure that we don't see under the roads is why our water bills keep being high. To do a couple blocks is $1 million to repair. And the pipes are 75, 100 years old and are starting to crumble. And that's why our water bills are not going to go down. And neither are other cities in similar condition. So let me see, where are we? Any questions? Nope. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Motion carried. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, 15B, Director Kimberly Maroney, please.
Thank you. We had a request from Deutsche Environmental Services for a contract extension of 1 year for our 2022 sewer and catch basin cleaning and television project. They have indicated they would like to do it for an additional year, and it was worked into the contract from last year. We were very happy with their work this year, and the project focuses on cleaning and televising the sewers and catch basin lines in the area shown on the attached map. We budget $300,000 a year for this, and we needed to adjust our maps moving forward, and instead of being done every 4 years, they'll be done every 5 years because the costs have gone up, but we'll still budget the same amount every year.
Okay. So, a
the
motion to
motion.
approve this contract extension.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Radner, thank you. We always want the contract extended because that means the price isn't going up.
Prices are going up, and if they're willing to extend the contract for last year's prices, it's always a good deal.
Right. This is a no-brainer. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, and 15C, council members, I'm going to actually do this in Courtney Flynn's absence. She is out. And some of the details of the partnership, they're going to do 6 stories, publish 6 stories on an annual basis. They work with us to make sure that those stories are accurate and provide good content. We also get brand and ad placement on their homepage, which covers a pretty wide array group of people. And we can reuse some of the content that is generated through this effort. And they'll also be integrating an Oak Park microsite into their platform, which will allow people to easily access content. And they'll also be providing metrics as time goes on, so we'll be able to see the impact of these stories. This is an entity that a lot of cities over the years have worked with to develop a really positive framework for the city, where, especially in cities like ours that don't have a dedicated newspaper or media outlets. So this is for a $12,000 per year, 3-year intent contract. And I would ask that City Council approve the partnership contract with Metro Mode for 3 years.
Okay. We have a motion? Nope. Motion for you? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions? Nope.
I do have a question, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
So Metro Mode, where does it circulate, and are residents going to see this?
It's entirely, it's an online publication, from what I understand. And there's also an e-newsletter, electronic e-newsletter, obviously. But it is a entire platform that is based on an online platform.
So we have to,
Right.
somebody
How do
would
we
have to.
How do we drive traffic to that site?
So they allow us to integrate into that platform, so we can push people to the site, but they also draw people to our site through, their resources, obviously, their reach. And then we get content reuse rights as part of the contract too.
Which is great.
Yeah. And obviously, if there's mistakes or erroneous information not, purposefully put out there, we work with them to develop some of these stories. I also note that this was part of in our strategic plan report, which, by the way, council members, you got a printed copy. Crystal's not here tonight, but you got a printed copy of this. At the next meeting, Crystal will be coming in and doing the presentation to support this. But one of the initiatives that council laid out was to identify resources like Metro Mode to enter into contracts with to pursue positive stories about the city of Oak Park.
Back in the 50s, there was an Oak Park newspaper, way, way back. But we're not officially covered by
No.
anyone. So we're doing our best. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, and then I have two other items, council members. One is the dog park. I did want to give an update that we have made it. The soft opening for the dog park at Lessinger is tomorrow at noon. At last check this afternoon, we received 38 pre-applications. Follow-up instructions for those applications will be sent out in the morning. And as long as the paperwork, the quiz, and safety video has been taken, which comes with the follow-up instructions, applicants, if they're approved, they can come get their key fob and dog tag starting tomorrow at noon, and they will come to recreation and they can pay in person or online, correct? Correct. Anything else you want to add to that, Lori? Our Director of Recreation, Lori Stasiak?
Come on up to the microphone and we'll grill you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, City Manager Tungate. Yes, so starting tomorrow, they can come to the Recreation Center, the Community Center, and either make their payment there and get their fob and their tags for their dog, or they can make the payment online and then come pick it up. We will need proof of vaccinations before that, and also, as City Manager Tungate expressed, that they will be watching a video and taking a quiz, short quiz,
Nice.
and making sure that they get 70% on that quiz.
Nice, nice. So, and you have 35 members already who have paid?
38,
38
not paid, their application.
applications applied. Thank you.
You still have to pass that test.
They still,
Well, can I just say, that just as a reminder, they not only have to pass the test, they also have to, as Director Stasiak mentioned, submit all of the proper paperwork and credentials and licensing. And there is a safety video that K9 to 5 has put together, which we've taken on, that they also must watch in order to become a member of the dog park.
nice.
So it's possible that by tomorrow afternoon, we could have dogs running wild in the dog park.
Well, let's not give that visual. They'll be
Playing
running, hopefully not
amicably
wild.
together,
Yes.
enjoying one another's
Yep.
company and their
Socializing
owners
and
also.
enjoying-
one
Yep.
another.
Proper-sized dogs playing properly in the dog park.
That's correct. We have 3 different sections. Large dog area for those 25 pounds and up. And then we have a small dog area, 25 pounds and below. And then we have a special needs for those that may be physically or emotionally challenged. So we call it our yellow ribbon area.
And that's labeled when you go there,
Yes.
you can
Mhm.
see. And there's also a drinking fountain for the adults. Is there a drinking fountain for the dogs?
Yes, there is. And there's also a paw washer or a little shower for the dogs in case they get muddy.
Neat, amazing. That's, and the name, for those of you who haven't heard, is Oak Park and Bark. And the fun starts tomorrow. Place to bring your dog and meet other dog owners. That's just wonderful news. People have been asking about this at least since 2011. And one of the first requests I got when I was elected mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then lastly, on a more somber note regarding animals. So recently, council members and members of the public, we had an issue with a puppy, a stray puppy in our community. I happened to be out of town when this was going on, but I thought it was important that I spoke to this. So I provided a message I'd like to read. And I wanted to start off by saying we are all humble public servants of this community. We pride ourselves in our ability to enact continuous improvement, especially when a situation occurs that puts our policies and procedures in the spotlight. Over the course of the last week, I have personally held meetings with our Human Resources Department, Public Safety, Communications, and staff in the Municipal Service Division that includes animal control and code enforcement. While it has been determined that proper protocol was followed in this unfortunate situation, in an attempt to better serve our residents, I am enacting the following. One, along with our legal team, we will be reviewing all policies and procedures related to animal control. We will use best practices to identify and eventually memorialize our revised policies in writing. Once established, these written policies and procedures will serve as the basis for how our officers conduct business going forward. Two, we'll be reviewing all of our vendor contracts and agreements as it relates to animal control. This includes our relationship with Oakland County and the Michigan Humane Society. Three, Oak Park employees are required to complete annual customer service training. However, since the pandemic, this training has been remote. As such, I will be making sure that our next training is a mandatory in-person customer service training that all of our employees, including those in municipal services and elsewhere in the city, will be required to attend. This was an extremely sad and unfortunate situation. As an animal lover myself, no one wants this to end the way it did. Our city and its staff are here to protect and preserve the sanctity of our residents and their animals. This case specifically has resulted in tickets being issued. From here, we will be closely monitoring the judicial process related to this case. I'd like to just share a little bit of a side story, too, that I had shared with the mayor prior to tonight's meeting. In my meeting with the Animal Control Division employees, one of them had volunteered to me that they're all animal lovers in that department. But in the varying range of things that they deal with, the other day, and he's going to hate me for telling the story probably, but the other day they got a call, and the call was, of all things, a baby deer fawn, newborn fawn, sitting in the middle of 9 Mile Road. And the mother was nowhere to be found. And he took it upon himself, working with other members of the Animal Control Division, to scoop the animal up and take it to a licensed facility that was a few hours away, I believe, to help protect and nurture that animal, so hopefully it can be restored and put back out into the wild in a much more safe environment, of course. But I think that really underscores the sentiment and the nature of the employees in that department. The situation that occurred the other day is just absolutely heartbreaking. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. And the city is going to do everything in our power to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our residents and protecting them and their animals at all turns. So I wanted to make sure I shared that. And with that, members of the City Council, thank you very much. That completes the City Manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Wonderful job. Thank you. Evaluating the situation, making changes. We hear you, and we respond. Thank you. We are now at call to the audience. Is there any, if you'd like to, first, are there any cards? We've got cards. So our city clerk will call on people who wrote a card, and please come on up so the people at home can hear.
First up, William Parker, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. At your last meeting, I was here complaining about the sod on my lawn not being there. And I was told right before the meeting that it would be replaced. So I was happy with that news. On July 27th, I received a call from Ms. Maroney informing me that the contractors were delayed. I said, okay, here we go. So today, I had written a 3-minute tirade that was going to be addressed to you, but at 3:45, I got a call from Ms. Maroney, who informed me that my sod would be started tomorrow. Am I correct? So I wanted to say thank you for contacting me before I came up here. And
Can we hear the tirade anyway?
I'm timing you, you got 3 minutes.
That's right. So hopefully, I'll save it, so hopefully I won't have to come back. I'll see you tomorrow for sure, though. But I did have a question on another matter regarding the bids. perhaps I missed something because I was attending, making sure I wanted to know what I wanted to say, but there was talk about a miscellaneous concrete contract, number 12, and there's an amount here for $949,000. And I heard our pro tem ask the question, where are the sidewalks that were going to be repaired? And they haven't been selected, is what I thought I heard. So my question is, how do you know how much it's going to cost if you don't know what you're replacing? Okay.
Thank you. Can we have someone? Oh, after the meeting, please speak to those guys and they will explain. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we missed the tirade. But getting people to work on time is real difficult at this time, getting materials and workers, everything is delayed. And not because we don't want to do it, but the same thing happened with the bathroom in the park that we were hoping for this summer, and it's another delay. Hi and welcome.
Welcome. This is my first time being at an Oak Park City Council meeting. So I wanted to first of all say good evening to the constituents, because you're at the top of the organizational chart, and then to the mayor, pro tem, the members of council, city attorney, the clerk, and all the other staff members. I wanted to thank your city and Director Steve Cooper for being one of the panelists at this event that occurred on Monday, July 31st in the city of Southfield. A couple of months prior, I went to my Southfield police chief and my Farmington Hills police chief and talked about doing a real town hall study session. And the reason why I'm saying real is because I've been to probably 30 or 40 of them over a 40-year period being in Oakland County, and they've always turned into gripe sessions. I called the police, they didn't come for 3 hours, and we knew that we were not going to have that. So when you speak of a town hall study session, the powers that be should be listening more than they are talking. We established early on that it would be the people's forum. So I just want to thank Director of Public Safety Steve Cooper, my Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron, my other police chief, Jeff King, the Detroit Police Chief, James White, and the Wayne County Sheriff, Raphael Washington, for just being some of the best panelists that I have ever witnessed. And I've been to a lot of forums. I've been a community advocate for about 47 years. I've been to most of the events, but these were the best panelists that I have ever witnessed. And at this town hall study session, the question that we asked was, is it possible to reduce gun violence? If so, what is the solution and how do we accomplish it? And they answered all the questions that the audience members had. We expected to have about 100 people because this is a sore subject. And a lot of people that attend normally are people that have had gun violence in their family or in their neighborhood or people that they know. I was just talking to Director Cooper, and he said, I thought about 100, and then we looked up and we put out 450 chairs, and most of those chairs were taken. The media said we had over 400 people at this first town hall study session. So I know Mr. Sherman was there, and I thought it was a great event. It's one of many, and you guys should be really proud to have Director Stephen Cooper leading public safety here. If you were there, what you heard him say, what you heard the other law enforcement executives say, this is a very sensitive subject. It's going to take a village to do something about it, but just because we had that one session, it's not going to be resolved overnight. So what I would like to ask the city of Oak Park, we are going to have another one coming up. I've already started planning it. All of these jurisdictions, I would like to get with your media people so that each entity can have this on their website at the time when we place the date to say when we're going to have it. I would like to see flyers passed out in your city because you have a representative there and you have Director Steve Cooper talking about law enforcement. So I just want to thank you guys for having such an amazing law enforcement executive, and thank you so much. And thank you, Mayor and Pro Tem, for attending.
Thank you for coming. We love our neighbors.
Carl Lipson?
That was a good idea, is not having a gripe session, but having suggestions.
Hello. This goes with your, when you were talking about the animal ordinances, that's actually what I wanted to ask. If Oak Park could come up with a law that says you're not allowed to let your pit bulls run free around the neighborhood, that would be great. That's an issue I've been dealing with for a long time now. And it doesn't seem to be illegal in Oak Park.
It is.
No, it's not. No one's done anything about it. So if that could be included, that would be great. And is it illegal? Or?
To let your pets run loose?
Yes, I live on West Hampton, and there's a home on Kipling that doesn't have a fence, and they just let their dogs, so when I'm in my backyard.
You know what? I'm going to ask you to speak to Director Cooper
Well, I've
himself.
spoken to the police before.
Our police?
Yeah, since April.
And?
And they were in my backyard again Saturday.
I mean, what did the police say, tell you? That it was illegal?
It's only illegal if they see it. So if they chase me, I've been chased out of my backyard and had to try to run to the door and get in the house before they get to me. And from what I understand from animal control is you call animal control unless it's after hours, then you contact the police. If they come and they actually see the dogs, then they can contact animal control and they can issue a ticket, and then they can be called into court to do it, but I don't know if tickets are what. I mean, and I know they've seen the dogs because I've been there. And I know my neighbor called last winter when she found them at her house. My other neighbor said it's been going on forever. His grandkids are chased into the streets sometimes. And so, no, I don't know what to do.
Mr. Lipson, so we have your contact information in the card, correct?
Yes, I can put my phone number on that.
Can you do that? And I will follow up with you directly.
Okay.
Later this week.
Rhonda Archer?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm here today because I was traveling east on 9 Mile. And I stopped at the gas station, the mobile gas station right there on 9 Mile and Coolidge. When I made the right turn, there was a little small white concrete. So I actually came over because the gas station was totally full. So my truck actually hit it. So I let the owner know at the gas station, and he said that that's not their problem. That's the City of Oak Park. And it should have been removed. So my truck is damaged.
Are you aware of this?
No.
I do have a picture of it.
Please follow up with the city manager.
And I do have an estimate.
Did you fill out a card with your phone number?
I did.
Okay, so someone from my staff is going to follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Is that all? Anyone else? No, okay. Then we have call to the council. Just starting out with Mayor Pro Tem Julie Edgar and I went to the gun safety town hall in the Southfield Pavilion and found it was wonderful. And the idea of not just having gripes, but having suggestions was brilliant. I thought really, really well done. People had a lot of things that they wanted to share, and each person got a comment from one of the police chiefs. It was beautifully run. Bravo. Another event that happened, not in our city, but right next door, Rackham Golf Course is a beautiful old 1920s kind of fancy golf club. Horace Rackham donated the money for the zoo, and he donated the money for the golf course. Then he had a fancy architect do the buildings, and a fancy golf club architect do the golf course, and could have easily opened it as a posh private golf club with membership fees and all of that. Instead, he opened it as a public golf course, open to everyone of all colors and women, which in 1925 was way ahead of its time. And then honored at that celebration was the Jackie Robinson of golf, Ben Davis, who was the first black golf instructor anywhere in the country. And what he must have endured with good grace, we can only imagine, but he was there to be the first, and he was honored, and his family came to this event, and it was very impressive. I had driven by that golf course 1,000 times and never knew the story of the history behind it being an amazing public golf course that was donated to the city of Detroit and will always remain a golf course. I just thought, amazing story, right in the neighborhood. Seniors in Motion meet at the rec center Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10. If you're a senior, it is a fun time. If you come once, you will come again. Thank you ever so much for coming and listening tonight. Mayor Pro Tem Julie Edgar.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I just wanted to echo the mayor's sentiments. I wanted to say that the Stop Gun Violence Community Forum was well organized, and I think it was really meaningful because members of the public got up, people who've been affected by gun violence, some who haven't, and they had really constructive comments. But I did want to extend a thank you to Pamela Gerald, who got up to speak and didn't give her name. She also goes by PG. She organized this really great event. It inspired me. It really did. Your activism is just inspirational. So I'd like to see us do a forum as well. And I wanted to thank our Public Safety Director, Steve Cooper, for being part of this great panel. Also, I just wanted to recognize both DPW Director Dave DeCoster and Recreation Director Lori Stasiak for making the dog park happen. The dog park committee has been working for about 3 years and pretty diligently, but without the work of Dave and Lori, we just wouldn't have anything. So it's very exciting, and I would urge everybody to come out tomorrow at noon. It'll be a soft opening, but we are planning a grand opening sometime in October. So thank you and good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Carolyn Burns.
Just wanted to say thank you for everyone for attending the meeting tonight. Want to reiterate that we have the greatest public service employees. As mentioned during the certificate process, and in regards to the event that happened that they responded so well and successfully to. Also would like to thank our entire administration for all of their hard work and all of the completed projects that they have done to date. And a special thank you and kudos to Director Steve Cooper and his staff.
Thank you. Councilman Solomon Radner.
Good night, everyone.
Councilman Sean Whitehead.
I just want to say, great job, Mayor Pro Tem, on getting the dog park to finally come home, and Director Stasiak and Andrew Sissel, who was the chair. I mean, that was just so much work and arms, sleeves rolled up, and so much sweat equity that went into that. And just really appreciate you, because I know the whole community loves that park that's going to be open up at noon. So have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.